Basically, I just did a bunch of jackass videos as a kid, and I found a group of wrestlers who were doing that. So that was like an easy transition from going from jackass videos to backyard wrestling. And I did backyard wrestling for so long that I just was like, all right, well, I might as well go ahead and train and become a professional wrestler. And I found a wrestling school, and from then on out, it was wrestling was my thing.
Now, I know you're from Louisville. Did you get trained down here in Louisville?
Yeah, I am from Louisville. I got trained kind of outside of Louisville in a place called Hillview, Kentucky. It's like right out on the outskirts of Louisville. Trained by, most people know him as Cash Flow.
Yes, sir. How was it being trained by Cash?
Fun time. He taught me the ins and outs of psychology in a match. He basically got me in ring shape, got me ready to go. And unfortunately, the school kind of closed down. And he was like, yo, you're a full-fledged wrestler now. Go out there and do what you do. And that's how that happened.
So I was actually at this match when it happened. Will you speak on when you almost lost your nipple and Brian Woods almost lost his eye at Carnage Cup 14 to the Tokyo Towers?
I mean, it was a decent sized cut. I guess I almost lost my nipple. I can't too much on it. It's just that Tokyo Tower. Sometimes when you play with glass, you get fucked up. As far as Brian's eye goes, same thing. You fuck with glass, you're gonna get glass in the eye. You're gonna get glass that might cut off your nipple. Really, just depends on the situation there.
That's what I was telling the girl that you see, not my wife, but my friend that you see. I was like, I work with professional deathmatch wrestlers, and these men and women don't know what they're going to get into, you know. They don't know if they're going to get out of that ring or not. They're getting in there with glass and shit that could really end their lives or their fucking careers. So, like, when I do this, I put my all effort into it to support them because they entertain me. So, at the end of the day, it's more. I know you can get hurt in technical wrestling, but you can actually get really fucked up in a death match.
Anytime you step in the ring, you can get really fucked up. Death match or not, I'm not going to downplay each other either or. Yeah, the ultra violence can step up and make the risk factor go up a little more, but you can
That's very true. I mean, Hayabusa done a regular match and fucking got on the second rope, flipped and broke his neck. So that's very true.
Yeah.
When he went to go do that springboard, I think, when he went to the second and he slipped. So that's very true.
Yeah.
And then Masada, I think, was doing a regular match. And he got messed up out of it. So, yeah, you got messed up technically, too. But I went up there and I was on the heel of Carnage Cup because I watched the match. And then me and Queen was talking, and she's like, "Did you see Statue?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "Well, he almost lost his nipple when he took off running. We stitched him up a little bit, but when it came to his nipple, he took off running." I was like, "I would too. That shit hurts."
Yeah. Not great, but
I mean, when you first started, you went by Satu and had a different look and everything. Can we ask why you switched it to Satu Jinn?
that was basically like just a repackaging. Shad Satu was kind of like my fresh out of wrestling school kind of gimmick that was given to me at the time, and I ran with it until I kind of had to find my own way in wrestling Satu Jinn.
I respect that, like a name to get you started. Hell yeah. What do you do to like? What do you do to get in your zone before a match? Like your thought process and everything.
thought process, there's not really much going on inside my head before a match. My, other than that, I just spoke
And what this question is actually what really taught me with you as a wrestler was where did the tongue out and the pointing to the eye come from?
I mean, there's no secret. I'm a huge anime fan. I've watched like through different animes over time period, like when someone was lying or being deceitful or something like that. They always did that. And
When I first seen you do it, I think it was on CW many years ago. But I was like, hey, this is unique. Because me and Squirrel was sitting there watching it. And I was like, hey, I like this guy. This is something that you don't see really, you know? As he points to his eye, sticks his tongue out, I'm like, hell yeah. And as I watched you more and more, I noticed that I can't pronounce it, but the big blade you use. I was like, hey, this motherfucker is cool. I was like, that has to hurt, that blade, dude. So, you seem to be very big on the Japanese culture, from your blade that you use to your boot and everything. Where did you find the love for it?
Growing up, immersed in honestly a lot of anime. That's really what happened at first. Of course, waking up in the mornings to watch like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball. That was kind of like my introduction to everything. And then watching all the Studio Ghibli films and just other anime my uncles had thrown to me that they had found at pawn shops. Just my younger years, I basically tried to get my hands on anything Japanese related. That all kind of translates to who I am now.
What's your favorite anime?
Favorite is going to be Yu Yu Hakusho.
I'm kind of old fashioned, so I go like Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, or Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's solid choices. Those are all in my top 5.
Hell yeah. And then when I first noticed your shoes, I was like, your boots, I was like, what the hell? That's so different. And then like I looked it up and I was like, you know, I found out they're Japanese and stuff, and I was like, man, Squirrel was talking. I was like, have you ever seen these type of boots that Satu wears? And he goes, no. And I'm like, I ain't either. Like the split toe, like I was like thinking, do you get more like traction out of them, or are they more comfortable to wrestle in? Or
for me personally, yeah. I spent a lot of my training wrestling barefoot because, like I said, whenever I first started, they wanted me to do like a similar wild man, wild suburban. I'd wrestled barefoot for a long portion of time in my first early years, so then the transition to those boots were just easier. I never really could get comfortable running around in like big, heavy wrestling.
yeah. So you never had like, because I know them are pretty thin. What you say?
Yeah.
You never like got a broken foot out of it or anything?
No.
I guess that's a plus because, like, you know, they're really thin, more than like regular wrestling boots. So, like, it's just delicious. So, which one would you say hurts worse, the light tubes or the light bulbs?
I guess it really depends, because I've had light bulbs that suck, yes. But also, if light tubes are like tempered wrong or blown out the wrong way, or they're fresh, or they're really cold light tubes are probably some of the worst things I've ever experienced.
I'd say like the cold ones and the ones that don't break, that you have to, you know, get hit with like 2 or 3 times. That's the fucking worst.
Yeah, those are the ones that suck the worst. Are probably the most dangerous too.
I've taken a light tube. I've never taken a light bulb, but I'd say a light bulb would have to hurt worse because you got to put more, you know, power, whatever into it.
I've done light they weren't bad. Also, them like I haven't done light bulbs that many times though.
When I had my wife break the light tube over my back, Brian hit me up. He's like, "God damn, are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, what?" He goes, "She cocked the motherfucker back and swung that motherfucker." I was like, "Yeah, I got a score on my back from it." She thought it was funny, and I'm like,
And I told him, I said, and you wanted me to hit you with a light too. I wouldn't have gave no fucks to that. I would have hit you like I was truly hitting you. I would have told your ass up with that light too.
Oh, jeez.
"See, I wanted to do
I
wrestling, but
took the skewer, so it was alright.
I got too much head trauma already." And
Ah,
then when I put a skewer in his head, and I heard like a skewer breaking the flesh, I was like, "Nope, I can't be a wrestler, but I can be around the action and the blood and stuff, but I don't think I could really do it myself."
understandable. It's not for everyone.
But like, even though I got the head trauma, I want to do it, but I already know that it would kill me in the long run, so I can't do it because like I have a permanent scar and stuff. So like, I'm stuck. Oh, what's your worst injury or major one?
Countered. Nothing too bad.
That's always good to hear. Nothing too bad. That's good to hear. So I know you've done been to Japan, and that's like one of the biggest goals for a wrestler in general, or deathmatch wrestler. So, what's your next deathmatch or wrestling goal?
Deathmatch wise, just more tournaments.
I like to see you in fucking TOD.
That EOD'd be nice. Yeah, just, try more tournaments probably. That's all I got really for deathmatch wise. Going back to Japan. Deathmatch down here. That's on the list right now. Heading down to Australia. Heading over to the UK is also on that.
I like to see him over there in fucking Rise. Now that'd be good. Him and Jack hook up. Jack Hurra. That'd be good.
But yeah, there's a lot of guys over there I want to tussle with.
I mean, I'd like you and Big Joe to hook up too. That'd be another good one.
Oh, for sure.
Matter of fact, what I want is I'd like to see Satu Jinn definitely fucking NXB belt or the NXB belt.
What was that?
I'd like to see you win the NXB belt, ICW belt. But at the end of the day, it's Danny, so I gotta be good. I gotta be good. I gotta be good. So when you wrestle for NHB, speaking about that, do you prefer the pit or the chains, and why?
I feel like they both had their special spots depending on. I like them both, honestly. Like I like the lack of mass in the pit. I like the creativeness it had to bring out in people. But the chains is just everyone loves the chains, and that can't beat doing it in a ring. I like the pit whenever it was like actual, like pit, not just like over a piece of ground.
Yeah, you
Cages and stuff like that. That was when the pit was at its best.
So when they actually first started the pit, like the circle, yeah. I don't know, like I'd say the pit would be better because like I've interviewed many people that was in NHB, and they say them fucking chains hurt, hit the chains, and they get no leverage in the chains.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's unique. Like we never really see chains as ropes or anything, so it's something different. But like right after a match, I know y'all are bruised and battered after that. Uh, how do you feel about fire and explosions, considering you've done both? And one of them was at Carnage Cup last year.
Uh, I don't really have really too much issues with fire explosions. Obviously, I'll do them. To be fair, most of the time I've done fire explosions, they were kind of just throwing on me, and I was like, "Fuck it, let's go." But as long as it's like as long as it can be done safely, I'm down for it.
I'm more of a fire guy. I'm a pyro. I burnt myself. Well, I burnt my ass. I like fire. I don't know what it is. Like I've always had an attraction to fire. Probably that I'm a Leon. I think I'm a fire son, but I'm attracted to fire. So like anything to do with the fire, I'm in on. But I'm not really too big on like. I've seen the explosions. Of course, I've never done one, but like I like how the explosions work as long as nobody gets hurt out of it. But I like the explosions and the outcomes as long as y'all are safe. And yeah, I find it cool how like you can take stuff like boards and stuff and make it blow up. So that's one of my main things, and I think that's one of the reasons why I got into deathmatch wrestling is because like I grew up watching ECW and stuff, and I knew I always wanted to do something with wrestling. And then when I got hit over the head with the aluminum ball bat and split my skull open, I was told that I would be able to do like football, anything, hands-on physical. So all me and Sport really done was he'd come up to the house and we just smoke, talk about wrestling and stuff. And my wife's like, "Why don't you just create a channel?" And then she gave us our names and we ran with it. And then I've always been a big fan of like deathmatch wrestling, and then like sitting down and talking to the wrestlers and being able to interact with y'all. It's a whole different world, and it's something that like because normally when you meet like I guess you would sort of say the mainstream big guys, they could be kind of a smart ass, but every deathmatch wrestler I ever met was pretty chill and laid back. What's your hobbies out of the ring?
Outside of the ring, mostly just gaming, video games, usually that's about it. I work and play video games and wrestle. That's all I got for me right now.
Oh, what's your favorite video game?
I don't really have a favorite in the sense of like I'm gonna go back and replay that. It's always gonna be Pokemon, I guess, if that's my favorite of all. That'd be like Pokemon, like Fire Red or something like that. Yeah, I love a good RPG.
Oh,
I'm really big on Dead by Daylight. I've been replaying the 2018 God of War. What was going through your mind when the Shattered Glass accidentally cut Cruel at ICW NXT 19?
Honestly, from my vantage point, when it exactly happened, I had no idea that he was as bad as he was. I didn't realize Cruel had been cut as bad as he was until he had left for the hospital and I had seen the video of the aftermath afterwards. All I had seen when I did a quick scan over after he cuts, but I didn't see what he had on his shoulder.
Here.
So it was still business as usual for me until Sean got the match.
Yeah, like when I first seen it, I was like, "Oh shit, that's gonna be bad. That's gonna be bad." And then when I ran it back, I was like, "That might come out worse than I thought." And then of course it hit, social media, and everybody was talking. This is why we don't use Shattered Glass stories and this, that, and the other. And like, that's fucking crazy. Like, it was a freak accident. Stuff was going to happen. I mean, a prime example was Necro and Pondo when Pondo almost cut off Necro's arm with light tubes by accident.
It can be a freak accident.
That's all it is, you know, a freak accident. You know, stuff's gonna happen. What was it like winning the 2025 Slave to the Death matches, and then less than 6 months later, win the Florida Deathmatch Carnival 2?
Both of them were like surreal moments. Like I had been coming to both of these tournaments for a good little while. Slave a little bit longer than Deathmatch Carnival, but I mean, if it wasn't for Slave, I would never gotten on the Deathmatch Carnival through Ruby Flyer. I just both of them kind of they were my first two tournament wins. And like now that I've got a taste for tournament wins, now I want to do more tournament wins. Is what I'm basically at now.
I have the hardest time finding shit on Slave to the Death, man. I've looked everywhere.
Aren't they on Fight?
But I got all the updates.
I'm not sure. I'm fairly certain they're on Fight TV. Thriller. Is that thing too? I don't know
Yeah,
which one they're on.
Triller or whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
Last time I looked, there was like one or two, but nothing really. It was like some older stuff. I watched it, but like as far as like every, you know, like all of them, I can't find it. I even looked on YouTube and all I seen was like clips.
Yeah, honestly, I never after I've seen the few clips after they come out, I don't really see much on like matches from Slave too often.
It's like one of those things that if you don't catch it live or you're not there, then you're screwed.
Yeah.
I didn't catch last year's. I caught 2024's, and I knew the two in 2025. And when I went to go try to find it to watch it, I couldn't find it. So I'm like, I'm not for sure what's wrong. Yeah, so I had the hardest time finding it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you would like to call out for a match?
You got four at the same time.
Not really. I mean, there's not really too many people I haven't gotten to get in there with, whether they're older or newer or somewhere in between. Like you name them, I've pretty much worked with just about everyone in some capacity.
I like to see you. No, that's not happening. Never mind. I was going to say you and Toby Klein, but I remember that happened at Deep South.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I look at like my back catalog of opponents, I've gotten there with just about anyone you can name.
Yeah, you got a hell of a resume. I gotta admit that. I mean, we've done a lot of interviews, so who would you say taught you the most in your career?
Who taught me the most in my career? Okay. See, that's kind of hard to say because, like, a lot of people have had a lot of hands in different points in my career that have helped out a lot. Like, I could give credit to the Hooligans for taking me into their carload, teaching me a lot, helping me out, learning psychology. I mean, I can give a lot to Cash Flow, Shane Mercer, Randy West, Schwartzy, the Rejects, Reed, John Lane.
I definitely got to say my boy Murdoch.
Yeah, freaking Mickey, freaking Necro. Honestly, that goes back to like my list of opponents. You name them, and they've had some hand in teaching me something in this wrestling business.
Is glass your favorite weapon? Because I noticed it's in like 95% of your matches.
Is what my favorite?
Glass.
Glass. Personally, I like glass, but it's not my favorite. I honestly prefer a match without glass. Sometimes I just be in the mood to roll around in some glass, though.
Oh shit! I thought literally that your favorite weapon, because it's like in most of your matches, like 95% of them. So it's like, maybe it's his favorite weapon, but shit, I never would have thought that you didn't like glass like that.
No, I mean I could take it or leave it. It's not that I don't like it. It's just more often than not, people see me and they're like, "Oh, we'll put some glass in there," and I'm like, "Okay." I'm not gonna ever turn anything down. If anyone ever asks me in the back, "What do you want back there?" I'll make do with whatever you put out there for me. Just put something out there.
He goes with the flow.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where would you say you got the biggest crowd reaction from?
Oh, that's definitely gonna have to be Colorado. Colorado is probably the best crowd reaction I get.
Heck yeah.
I need to go to Colorado, to be honest with you. Which one would you say is worse? Gary J smacks or Dan Moss punches?
Well, the man's name is Stiff Robo Ginger, so I'm gonna have to go with Gary J's slaps. I just chopped a hole through my chest.
I seen Gary J and that man lit you up. And then like Dan Moss, I'm like, but Dan Moss a beast anyways. So I was tore. I was like, I want to go with Gary J, because he literally likes people up. But I was like, Dan Moss throws some heavy hits. So I was like, I don't know. I was like, I have to ask him this one because like I said,
I had Gary J all day.
I was wanting to go Gary J, but like when it turns into a fist, it hurts more, or whatever. So I was like, yeah. But I've seen Gary J light up a whole fucking arena, and you can hear it echo.
Yep.
Would you mind speaking on your braid, and does it have any meaning?
There is no meaning to this braid. When I first started wrestling, if you go back before 2020, I had a full head of hair, and then I started doing too many gusset plate spots, and that full head of hair started to go back. So I said, once I lost this amount of hair right here, I was going to cut it all off and leave a tail, and I did exactly that.
Heck yeah.
I'd explain that. Like, I was watching the match, and then, I come forward, watch more, and I was like, he shaved his hair. And then I noticed that you had the braid. That's something that you don't see from many people. What's the worst thing to have on your skin? Salt, lemon juice, alcohol, hot sauce, etc.
Salt. Salt sticks to you and stays burning. At least lemon juice, it'll eventually come off. Hot sauce will eventually stop burning. All those things will stop burning. Salt sticks to you, and it's going to eventually get more and more in that wound.
I mean, I've cut my finger and, ate fries and shit. Jesus, I couldn't imagine. It takes a different breed to do it this. Who would you say took you to your limits? I'd say like Cruel Dan Moth, Slack maybe.
Oh, to my absolute limit. Honestly, I want to say the person that's taken me to my absolute limit that has gotten me like it's been a while. I'm gonna have to go with Neil. Neil always makes me go way too fucking hard, and he's too much all the time.
Oh man, fucking puts in so much effort.
Yeah, Neil makes me work way too fucking hard sometimes.
I tell you, when him and Matt Tremont had the 700 2 deathmatch, I was like, where does it end? Like, you would expect Neil to be like since he's the smaller dude, the underdog, you would expect him to get in there and whatever. But that man does not have no stopping limits.
I learned not to expect that when I first met him. But every time I've gotten in there with him, he makes that expectation go even further out. Like I'm like, yo, bro, how much more do you have in you?
He's like the miniature Endergast bunny. He just goes and goes and goes and goes.
Exactly.
How was your trip to Japan in 2024?
It was great. I enjoyed every second I was over there. Honestly, I got to get over there and hang out with some of the legends in the game. Like I got to meet Takeda and freaking have a match with him. I got to have a match with him and his tag partner. I got to get in there with Kobayashi. I got to hang out with Kobayashi at his bar. Like it was all a good time. This was short-lived. Went there for like a couple weeks. Ready to go back again.
Heck yeah.
I'd like to see you on the 2027 World Grand Prix.
Well, that'd be great. We'll see if it's in the cards.
Did you get your Ribera jacket when you went over there?
I sure did. I ended up getting me a jacket, going over there. We stood outside a line of Ribera's for about middle of December.
I've always wanted to go over there just to meet Mr. Danger because we've interviewed him. And he was like, come over here and I'll give y'all a state. And I'm like, I need to go to Japan.
Something I recommend to everyone do just at least once. Honestly, just get out of the country at least once is what I recommend to everyone. But if you're going to go anywhere, go to like Japan. That's me being biased too.
That's my goal as like a podcaster is to go to Japan and then go to like England or something. I do not see my fucking fat ass going to Australia. I am not going over there with the goddamn spiders. Fuck that shit. I won't be over there 20 minutes and I'm getting right back on that motherfucking plane. My arachnophobia will be so high. I'd die over there in fucking Australia.
Orty.
And yeah, we good on that note. I know you went to XPW one time. Why did you never go back?
Because I was never asked back. It's really what it comes down to. I don't really reach out to promoters. If you want to see me there, promoters reach out to me. I get checked.
That's one thing that I had to learn the hard way. Is like, if you want to do an interview, you have to swallow your pride and message the wrestlers. I was so nervous for like the first 2 or 3 years to message a wrestler. And they're like, so many wrestlers was like, the least I can say is no. They're like, I'm not going to get you at a show and beat the shit out of you because you asked me for an interview. The worst I'll say is no.
Right.
And I'm like, finally I decided to break that, and I just started messaging the wrestlers, and I'm like, if I'm going to be a podcaster, I have to break the chains or whatever. So I have to rebuild my reputation, but like, we were a hell of a name back in like 2024.
I'll reach out if I like the show or the product someone's putting on, but for the most part, I'm not reaching out.
Is there anything you would like to plug? Upcoming shows, social media, merch, promos, etc.?
At the very moment, not really. You can catch me probably at Carnage Cup. October 10th, 11th, I do believe is that one. We just the dates for that. Other than that, I don't have too much coming up. I'm pretty much taking it easy nowadays. Like I said, I want to do more tournaments. So, like, in order to be ready for tournaments, you gotta,
Be well rested.
yeah.
Have you ever hit up DJ or DJ Hot ever hit you up being TOD or like anything like that?
I have never once talked to DJ Hyde, and I don't think I've ever met DJ Hyde. If I have, it's been in passing, very briefly. But yeah, we've never really talked anything TOD, nothing like that. And like I said, I don't really reach out to people.
You gotta make a petition to get DJ to hit up Satu for TOD.
For sure.
Heck yeah, TOD.
I think it should
Get you over there in
definitely
England, in the what is that? What's that tournament they got over in England? The
God
God tournament.
GOD.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make a fucking petition, whatever, on Deathmatch Elite. Shout out to Deathmatch Elite, by the way.
That's what's up, guys. Yeah, that's the only way I'm going to get on the
Toxic
show.
Elite, as they call it. Toxic Elite, as they call it. But come and check out Moose over there. We talk about grannies. We got
Yeah,
Andy over there picking on me
that.
about my grannies. Is there a match stipulation that you've never done but always wanted to?
Not really. Now that goes back to like the catalog I have. Like, not to brag or anything like that, but there's not any match stipulations I haven't done either.
That's definitely true.
And the ones that I haven't done, there's reasons why I haven't done them because I don't want to.
I understand that. That's all my questions, though, bud. You got any questions?
Have you ever worked for JCW?
Yes, plenty of times.
Oh,
I did a match for them way back in the day. Me and Shane Mercer worked one of the JCW shows that was on an ICP show. I've worked the Gathering for like a battle royal, and then I've actually wrestled in Violent J's house during COVID. I think it was.
That's fucking awesome.
How was your take in JCW? What'd you take from that?
It's solid cats. Everyone there is just there to have a good time. The shows are always creative and wacky. Can't really knock it. Haven't really worked there too much to really have too much of an opinion, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
True.
But that's all my questions. If you got any questions, feel free to ask.
Is that all the questions?
Yeah.
Oh, true.
If you want to come back on for a part two, I'll be more than glad. Let him do more questions and bring you back.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Sounds good, bud. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.